Team housekeeping here. So unfortunately, there's a bit of an error on the staff side here with our spreadsheets, which has now since been corrected. It won't happen again, but we suspected that Hope might have been banned, but this is not the case, and there will be a no-fault restart. Both our survivors and our killer are given the opportunity to change perks if they so choose to. We're going to be getting a nice quick tag onto Pedro, though, in the corrupt area to start off this trial, and we're going to be seeing some similar pacing for Ultra here, where we're going to be seeing Matt actually coming in and taking some hits to prolong this chase a bit at the main building, but there it is. I was going to say Ultra might just opt to go for that M2, but oh my goodness.
Yeah, goes for the M2 right there. Gonna miss it on Mad. Yeah, we already see two different tile switches. We see the 4-lane right there, and we see window on the other side of main. Not on this side like we saw at the beginning of the game. There goes the bamboozle to kind of nullify that window vault, especially if Ultra decided he wanted to keep looping in main. But looks like he's gonna drop chase, going to go down to the bottom side of the map, the non-corrupted side, and maybe apply some pressure on these gens.
And I think this is perfect that we're going to be catching out Pedro. Our only injured survivor that would be in these active generators is Mad. We're still last seen at the main building, and Ultra just being so terrifying with these M2s coming out. And we're probably going to be actually, no. Pedro's going to be taking the chase over towards the bottom right-hand side of the map, and he's going to be able to make it back towards some corrupt generators. But at what cost? This is a bit of a dead zone at the back of this pallet gym. I don't know if we're going to be able to make it to the pallet, but Pedro's doing an insane job at trying to loop this tile and wasting as much time as possible going into the edge map, and ends up stepping on the trails of judgment, punishment. Who knows what the fancy lingo is, but Pedro's tormented and up on first hook for the first gen.
Yeah, tormented on the first hook, stepping on the rights of judgment for sure, and that's going to be a gen done right there. You know, going to pop a little bit of a pain res stack, and I actually really like pain res on this killer just because you can balance out the different hooks and cages depending on what kind of pressure you want. Like, do you want to get someone off the hook or off the cage and tunneled immediately, or do you want to get gen pressure, right? So that's going to be really nice to see. We're going to see the chase right here on the Nancy. Great stuff right there, getting away from the loop, right? Breaking lines of sight and making these guesses and kind of overextending into corners or onto the edges of the map so the M2 actually doesn't reach. Great stuff right there. And we're going to see a 4 people right there from Sir onto Pedro.
Oh my goodness, and Pedro is just going to be able to dodge out this M2 Ultra, playing it a little bit too close to the window, unfortunately. And the 4 people is going to make this chase really annoying, but Ultra is going to land a snipe regardless and going to follow it up maybe with another clean M2. But Pedro, suspecting this, immediately vaults that shack window and is still going to have to keep this chase around the main building. It's tough if we were working gens near here because Pedro needs all the space in the world to last as long as possible here. And with paint res already being used up on Pedro, as you were saying earlier, SSB, Ultra really does just have the option to just send him to the cage immediately and find where that spawn would be, which would be around the top left side of the map.
Yeah, obviously we're going to see, you know, the cages kind of spawn like you said, probably directly across from wherever the cage actually happens. Great awareness right there. That kind of gives Ultra some info that maybe a survivor was working on the, you know, top left side of the map on the gen around the 11 o'clock side, and we're going to see the unhook or the removal of the cage on Pedro already. But this is going to be a situation where, oh great, Mad05 going to come in and take another hit potentially right here. Going to have to switch the chase around potentially. Let's see what's going to happen right here. Is Ultra going to be able to get this kill or not?
Oh, I think Ultra just manages to sneak past Mad there. Back onto Pedro. Mad walking straight in the trails. Following up right behind Ultra. Gets the body block and no tag for Ultra either. Mad going to be taking the aggro now away from Pedro to go and potentially get reset and stay alive for a bit longer in the trial here. This is perfect for our survivors here for Master right now, as the 3rd gen is going to get done and our tunnel out has potentially escaped danger.
Yeah, potentially escape danger. Not sure for how long, as I think Ultra might have already found him yet again. Here comes the cage, or here comes the trail right here, kind of providing some counter looping potentially right here. Maybe not trying to go for the cage, especially because, you know, if you do step on the trail right now, if you're Pedro and you go down, that's an instant mori right there, right? So, you know, potentially, oh, great stuff right there.
Oh, we do know that Nancy's in the area though for the pallet save, so we have to get that tag on Pally, and force Nancy away. But the 4th gen has gotten completed, and I think Pedro isn't quite on the pallet, so Ultra can just shimmy to the side and get this elimination and potentially some regression on this gen close to the shack as well. But I think with this tunneler onto Pedro, though, we've lost our gen split. We don't really have a defendable 3 gen. And oh my goodness, a blast mine to the face. That hurts to see at 1 in the morning. But yeah, no, this is going to be tough for Ultra to try and get a 4K out of this.
Yeah, it hurts to see the blast mine as well, not only because, you know, it's very bright and some of us are either up really early or really, really late. However, that also kind of wastes a little bit of time, and in this game, 5 seconds is everything, honestly. And here comes, like you said, no 3 gen, right? We're gonna see a gen on the top side and bottom side of the map, so this is gonna be really difficult for Ultra to sustain unless he can kind of snowball right here. If the survivors are a little bit aggressive and are willing to take hits for each other, maybe with the right spacing from Ultra, we're gonna see an M2 maybe hit 1 or 2 different survivors, and that's gonna kind of start some pressure right here. But the shack pilot already kind of going down right there, kind of to just, you know, prevent the, you know, get a little bit more distance, right? Trying to prevent the line of sight blocking right here. However, Ultra is already on Matto 5 right here.
Yeah, no, but the thing is, though, this chase being taken right near the most active generator, I think at this point you'd think that Sir and Pele are rotating back up to the top side to try and work those gens here. Ultra trying to go for a bit of a prediction through the window, but I think Mad is a little bit too clever for that. But we'll fall for the M2 bait, though, getting tagged, and we still have the Torment on Mad from previously, so Ultra's going to have to make a really tough call of going for the pain res or just straight up going for the cage, and I don't think it's going to be the latter.
Yeah, I feel like, you know, regardless, you know, whatever decision he makes, oh, that's the last gen being done. I was actually going to make a point about how if the bottom gen is the most active gen, putting a cage on the top side of the map kind of prevents them from pressuring that bottom gen, but it doesn't even matter because, you know, we already have all 5 gens completed right here, only 3 hook stages right here technically, and we're going to have to see if something is going to give for Ultra. We do see the haste buff, so we know what's coming next if Ultra can get his hands on someone with the M1.
Oh no, I don't know who it was cleansing those bones, but they're not going to have the time to get it complete. Ultra has found out Sir, and the Bamboozle Vault into the nowhere down should be enough. Oh, and we're actually just going to hop blocker here to stop the slug and allow the pickup to happen onto Bad. We saw our doors were very, very split up as well, which is really tough for Ultra. But with this hook right next to the Noed totem, I think it's very, very confident that Ultra is going to be able to get this elimination. But are we going to be able to stop this door next to the shack from being opened as well and potentially find our Nancy to get another fresh hook and some more stages?
Oh my god, you see the flashing red lights right there. That's a good sign. Yeah, great stuff right there. Great info with the trail. You heard the Killer Instinct heartbeat, and that kind of gave, you know, Ultra a sense of where the Nancy is as well. We see the gate open, so it's going to take a couple seconds for Matto 5 to make it all the way to that hook. We are going to see this window right here. Are you going to make it in time? No, you're not. Great down right there to apply some pressure, and now you just Bamboozle Vault a little bit faster, get that value, that vault speed, and potentially pressure Jeff out, and you secure only a 1 out, and it looks like that's probably what's going to happen. I'm not sure if Nancy has an unbreakable play or something. Would be a crazy one to say the very least, but it looks like we're going to get Matto 5 out. You know, clutch bloody blocking from Matto 5 earlier onto Pedro, so, you know, definitely deserves the escape right here. So it's going to be it's going to be Sir and Paoloop. It's going to be a 3K, which honestly, the way the survivors pressured those gens very efficiently and very quickly, we, you know, this is kind of not the worst possibilities, right?
Yeah, no, that is definitely true. Ultra be able to make a really, really nice comeback with that Noed for the end game. We just need to find where Pally has crawled to and get them in the cage or on the hook. I think cage obviously being the safer and quicker route, which will confirm 3 kills and 9 stages from what was only 1 elimination and 3 hooks before the last gen getting done. And wow, this is really, really insane comeback for Cynic to start off this set, and will set quite a tough win con.
Yeah, we definitely set a tough win con right there as well. Yeah, like you said, that's gonna be exactly it. It's it was, yeah, like this was a pretty good turn of events. starting on 3 hook stages at the beginning of the end game to securing 3 whole kills on 3 survivors is definitely lots of value right there from Ultra. Coming in clutch, great decision making, and honestly, just the fact that this could have ended very, very differently for Ultra. So.
Yeah, and there's not really going to be any potential for a bleed out play for Pally either, as that bleed out bar is yet to sort of cross that 2-minute mark, and the end game timer is slowly ticking away. We saw earlier where our Nancy was crawling to, as Ultra is still trying to check around this edge map, but I'm curious as to whether or not Pally will be able to crawl out of the gate in time with, I believe, crawling from all the way over at Water Tower.
That would be a crazy escape. Definitely, for sure. That would be really unfortunate for Ultra if we saw that escape. But regardless, you see Ultra kind of diligently looking through the basement, going to try to locate the survivor to get the hook right now. So yeah, I mean, this was one for the books for sure. Great start. We saw a lot of great pressure. We saw great decision making from the survivors in terms of body blocking and taking some of these hits to kind of prolong a chase specifically. And you saw Ultra wisely getting rid of dropping some chases here and there in order to potentially get a down, get a kill. And we saw it on Pedro, and then we also saw it on Sir. So are we, like, again, the name of the game right now is, are we gonna get the bleed out, or are we going to get the hook right here? But finally found the Nancy and get into the cage right now, and that's gonna be it. Yeah, what a first game! What a first game to start. Sets the tempo up for the next match. It's gonna be one for the books for sure. That was pretty awesome to see.
Oh no, 100%. It was honestly down to the wire with how close that bleed out bar was at the end game collapse timer. I don't think even I knew how close that was going to be to a potential bleed out or just an end game collapse kill, which would have awarded all points for anyone who's asking. So now we're going to be seeing Master on the killer side, back on the Cold Tower right after a short break. All right, welcome back everyone to the Cold Tower. We're going to be seeing none other than Mad05 on the Executioner for Team Master with a win con of about 10 stages that we need to acquire. We have a very, very interesting build coming out here, going for an Undying pick instead of Bamboozle, which would be a bit more traditional. How do you feel about this one, SSB?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like some of the aura readings on with the Undying. Obviously, Undying is most well known for kind of protecting Hex Totem builds, but at the same time, having Undying for the aura readings is very similar to most traditional aura reading perk builds. And wow, what an M2 on Ultra right there, already getting the first down. I feel like we just started and we're already here. The fact that Mad05 was the survivor, taking hits, being really aggressive, in chase against Ultra, and then getting the immediate down, got kind of a little bit of a flex right there. Already great start from Mad05.
Yeah, especially as we're going to be getting that pain res hook as well as some good info as to where a lot of the team is as well. Immediately going to be going for the strategic targeting back onto Ultra, and I'd have to assume going for like the window on the main building as opposed to going for a balanced landing play, and Mad not quite being able to get the tag. Unfortunately, Ultra is going to continue to go around the main building, but we have Angels here on the near to cause some distractions with the flashlight. And did Ultra hop locker?
It has to be a locker. That probably might be a DS play as well, for sure. Or it could have been maybe just kind of prolonging the misery right there. Yeah, great stuff right there. Gonna get the hook. And yeah, opting to, instead of going on the basement, going to opt to send out to the cage right there. Yeah, no, like you said, not going for a bounce play. We actually heard the grunt from Ultra, which kind of gave us a sign of no balance landing from Ultra side. So that actually is going to be something to note if Mad05 is a little bit more aware of that, and we see a replay of that building juke. Oh my god, what an M2. What an M2. And there's Undying coming in clutch right there. We talked about, the secondary function of this perk already kind of getting, kind of nullifying some of these mind games.
Oh. No, this is so bad for Ultra, because I think we actually saw a miss of the decisive strike from that locker play, and with that no longer available from the cage as well, this will be elimination onto Ultra if we were to catch the down here, but we have Ace here. Lusty trying to take aggro as much as possible, but it's inevitable that we're going to be seeing a big old chop at the bottom of the road of the Coal Tower. Ultra getting eliminated at 4 gens remaining, the second Mori of the season.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that we... Oh my god, what is for burst right there. Great stuff. But honestly, the fact that we got a kill so early just kind of proves the tempo that Mad05 is trying to set. And if this is any indications of what the rest of the set will have in store for us with the other 2 killers, potentially, this is going to be one for the books for sure. Like you said, already getting the kill on Ultra. Even though Ultra was caged, we saw the trail, you know, kind of around the hook, and Ultra kind of accidentally stepping into the trail, trying to avoid potentially an M1. We got the Mori right there. So great closure, great pressure from Mad05 right there to get that first kill. Well deserved for sure.
Yeah, and this is really going to help Mad play for the win con so much more. We hear a gen with so much progress right near this main building. Nini in chase here on the Nancy. Should be able to buy a little bit more time as Mad is baiting out the M2 here a couple of times. Nini going to be able to dodge this one and be able to take chase away from this gen, which should inevitably let it pop, which I believe is what we just heard happening in the distance. But the insta drop of the pallet will spell death for Nini, and potentially another stack of pain reds for Mad to stop gen number 3 from being completed.
Yeah, another stack of pain reds right there, and that pallet drop is so scary to deal with. You're not sure if you're gonna see Mad05 kind of go in as soon as you get off the hill, go for the lunge, which is why we see Nini do the pallet drop. But because of the positioning and as far back as Mad05 was able to kind of bait the pallet drop and then get the M2 right there to get that hook. So I mean, great decision making, just great awareness overall. Get the kick on the generator right now. Going to apply a little bit of pressure. Has an option to kind of set up shop with the trails right here, but we are going to see that's a broken status effect. So. Yeah, that's going to be renewal coming into play as we saw Lusty unhooking Nini here, trying to take the chase over towards the shack, but I believe we already broke the shack pallet, and with this dull totem in the shack, we're going to get some undying value, but Nini's going to be able to get the renewal off and get the health state back. Keep the chase over by the shack as well. Have to fake out the window, but Mad can just M2 fake and block it. We're going to be able to see exactly where Nini goes after this as well, over towards his tile at the bottom right, and a nice long wall window in this 4 lane to utilize, and just going to keep on going, and it's Nini going to be able to make it to anything valuable here. Oh my goodness. Yeah, great stuff right there. I mean, even without the Undying Totem in that tile, because of the window right there, we see a lot of visibility on the right side of Mad05. So the decision making to throw out the M2 right there, knowing that Nini didn't pop back into the window's line of sight, knew that you could throw out the M2 and probably still get the down right there. So great awareness. I mean, all around, it's just been nice to see for sure. As we get another pain risk stack and we get the chase onto Lusty. A little bit of a mind game right there, maybe to buy a little bit of time, more distance, but it's, you know, not even going for the hit, just going to opt to go for potentially the tunnel out right here. So you're going to see Mad05 kind of commit to Nini, and we are going to see Angels coming in a little bit aggressive, trying to preserve Nini's last legs for sure.
Yeah, now, something we need to be super mindful of is that in order for Mad to beat this win con, we do need at least 10 stages, and with 1 gen remaining right now and Nini on the brink of elimination, Angel's not quite being able to get the body block, but Mad not quite landing the M2. There it is though. Angels will take that tag, and Lusty pops a gen in the distance, and we know that there is another gen with a decent amount of progress. We need this last gen to pop really quick for the survivors of Cynic if we want to get this set point, sorry. And we hear that the gen by Shack has so much progress, and this is where our chase is being taken with Lusty to help with the body blocks.
Yeah, I'm not too sure if potentially dropping chase on Lusty might have come back to bite Mad05. The fact that we had such an early kill on Ultra, but the efficiency on everybody else to pop 3 more gens even after the Mori kind of goes to show, you know, no matter if your back is against the wall or not, you know, the tempo that, you know, these survivors are taking is actually pretty nice to see. There's a broken pallet right there, so yeah, you're gonna have to go for this right here. Oh, no adrenaline plays from either Angels or Nini, so you know, we are going to see, you know, maybe a bit of a switch in targets right here, going to get the locker save right there. I'm not too sure, you know, maybe what the play is right there, maybe kind of, you know, Again, just maybe prolongs the situation a little bit right here. We are yet going to see another status effect change right here as we get. Oh, wow, that was a very, very quick exit gate being opened.
Oh no! Oh my goodness! Mad hits the double shot at the gate, but Lusty's gonna be here for the heel tech, I think. There's the backflip. Oh, it's not gonna be enough. Nini's not gonna be able to crawl out in time, and with Angel still on the hook, that will meet the win con as we only got our. Oh, hang on a minute. Wait, was Lusty fresh hook when he got out? I think he was. This is gonna be another 9 sage and a tie in the first set.
Oh my god, what a way to finish out that set right now. And it's still not even done. We're going crazy again. I mean, just the fact that we had the kill was so early at 4 gens, and the rest of the team said it is all good. We are going to still apply all this pressure and get all the gens done anyways. You know, we saw a little bit of a situation where we had we had a bit of a drop chase here and there in order to kind of start continuing the pressure to maybe snowball towards your favor, but it looks like we're going to replay right now with Matto5 on Killer again. And wow, what a tie. It's going to be so much fun to see. You know, don't go anywhere though. We're going to go to a quick break and we'll be right back with a replay of this second round of Killer.
All righty, welcome back everyone to the Cold Tower once again with Matto5 back on the Executioner after a nail-breaking tie. Let's see if Mad can keep up with the pace with what we saw in the last game as well. And M2 bait to start things off. Ultra already dropping the firecracker, going to be the first one in chase once again. Should be getting tagged at this TL though. We also get eyes on Angels as well, going towards the top mid map, and that first tag coming out. Chase going to the main building as it should. Our survivors might be a little bit more aware of the Undying that's going to come into play. Oh!
Yeah, the Undying going to come into play. Once again, we saw a lot of value. You know, this is a replay, obviously, for those tuning in for the first time, but this is going to be a lot of value with the replay as you get the down onto Ultra yet again, looking like a repeat of, the second round of Killer from the first instance of Matto5, going to go for the basement hooks right here. And like we talked about earlier, not too sure if the Bamboozle, getting rid of Bamboozle for Undying was the play, but Matto5 was showing a lot of value in terms of, just getting the info, getting rid of the mind games completely. Great use of the cage right there, forcing survivors to either take their sweet time by crouching, walking to the hook, or getting tagged with the killer instinct right there. So gonna try to go for a little bit of a guess right here though. Nobody home for that M2 though. Going to loop around right here. Has I believe this is the Undying totem as well. So that might be a good call out right for the survivors to potentially start pressuring this gen and his totem. But you do need to get Angels out of this area for sure. Going into the corner, we're not even going down though. That's gonna give us a speed boost to the next tile potentially right here as we go back into main building side. And no, it looks like, oh my god, 2 generators popped already.
Yeah, Cynic are not joking around right now, and I think they're more than willing to let Ultra hang for those first gens to pop, as Mad has just now spotted everybody, I think, getting into position to work on the next set of gens, and Ultra's going to be going into the second stage here. Angel's still trying to work on this gen over at the top left while being injured, and is also going to get tormented here as well. Not really a whole lot of places to go to, and Mad with the prediction shot, and it comes through.
Yeah, the prediction shot right there is super clutch. Oh my god, this is gonna be. We see the clutch from Ultra. We're waiting it out. Great stuff. You're gonna commit to you're gonna commit to it right there. Great stuff. Oh. And before we get the potentially another chase right here, no, we're just gonna get kind of setting up shop with the cage right here. Are we going to see this coach getting hit right here? And then it is get hit with the decisive strike. Great stuff, but it doesn't matter. You have 2 injured survivors. You kind of just decide where to go, and already a pick up on Angels right now as we get another down on Ultra. Oh my goodness.
And it's gonna be Mori number 3 for the league in back-to-back games. Poor Ultra is copping 2 chops for the price of one. Really nice play with the decisive strike, not missing it this time, but sadly not really being able to do a whole too much with it. We know Angels is our sprint burst player, will be able to dodge out that M2 nice and easily and try and take the chase away from this generator with so much progress. We know Lusty and Nini would have been working on some gens off in the distance as well, as the next chase is going to be so crucial for the pacing of this game, and we get that M2 tag onto Angels.
Absolutely. You're mentioning the pacing of the game, and it's sort of becoming a similar situation as it was the last game. However, are we going to get the down right here on the Angels? Great stuff. Battle5 had the down earlier, but, you know, ended up deciding to drop Chase in order to focus on Ultra to get him out of the game. But we're finally going to see the pickup on Angels and potentially a Scorch Hook right here. Finally going to be the first one of the match, though. And, yeah, going to apply some pressure right here, you know, we haven't seen Nini at all. A little bit, you know, Nini's probably, you know, grinding out these gens. We love the efficiency. As, yeah, you already see Nini kind of set up for the save right here. So, gonna get the balance play right now in case you decide to go towards the main building side, and that's exactly what it was. No grunting of the drivers, right? So that's a good sign to know that, you know, the killer has balanced landing, and yet again, another for the people. Kind of beautiful to see. Obviously, you're gonna want the four people right there. So we focus on potentially Nini, but no, already an M2 on Angel's gonna get the down right here, potentially a cage or another pain rest stack, or no, yeah, it's gonna be the cage, not a pain rest stack. Sorry, but wow, what a turn of events.
Yeah, and I think Mad is going to be very aware as to where this cage is going to be, and I think from the looks of things, Lusty has already used balanced landing, so this chase at main is going to be a little bit more unsafe. Sorry. For Lusty, and as Chase continues on, we do actually manage to land the M2, and Mad has got everyone injured right now. Time ticking away in that cage, and Lusty not being able to get the rescue. The cage is up on top of a hill. Neither of our survivors here have balanced landing, and Mad could very easily just get both of our survivors slugged here, but instead he's going to opt to go for Angels and get the pain res and keep the pacing of the game going. And I'm kind of fearful that this is... Oh, sorry. Angels is the one that was on Dead Hook. My apologies.
Yeah, like you said, you know, already dead on hook. We are going to see. Oh yeah, you need some ultra range add-ons to kind of get that M2 right there. But the fact that we have 2 kills already, that's it's not looking too good. This is potentially gonna have to be, if they can somehow get the last 2 gens done and Nini goes out with no hooks, we potentially could see yet another replay. But regardless, we're gonna see Battle5 continuing to hunt, continuing to chase right here. Still has the Undying, so if we go through any dull totem tiles, we are going to see the aura reading, and we're gonna see, we saw that work so well for Battle5, so we could definitely see that work again. But that's probably gonna be a down right here as onto Lusty, and at this point, yeah, just get it set up right here. No, canceling the cage just in case, you know, just because Nini's already injured, you can sort of commit to this option right here to kind of go after. And we see the trails of blood right as we go into the corner, and oh my goodness, it looks like the end is in sight in favor of Battle5.
Nice to see the return of the headless pyramid heads with a 4K at 2 gens remaining for Mado5. Lusty crawling for his life, but it's not even gonna matter. Mado5 should be able to find this slug, and here it is. What a really, really tough game and a really tough win con for Ultra in the next trial. I'm very fearful for Cynic right now, as this was their pick of killer, but we're just gonna have to wait and see. And I think Mad actually having a little bit of trouble figuring out where Lusty got to.
Yeah, a little bit of trouble. Obviously, the repositioning from the hook is going to definitely count. It's going to, you know, kind of force Battle5 to really go searching. You know, maybe soul searching too. Yeah, looking for Lusty. As we find them, it doesn't matter. Get the cage right here, and yeah, what a start. Considering that we got literally, you know, we literally had a tied game. Both killers kind of performing the exact same. Yeah, like you said, tough win con for sure. We saw a end of events, you know, kind of end up having a different outcome for in favor of Battle5. So yeah, like you said, Ultra's gonna have a tough win con right here. We're going to have to see, you know, what tricks he has up his sleeve in order to solidify, maybe turn the set around completely. It's gonna have to be potentially one of the best performances we've seen thus far. So it's going to be interesting to see for sure. I'm excited to see what Ultra is going to bring to the table right after this break. Hey everybody, welcome back. We hope you enjoyed your break from us. We are going to get started yet with the second killer match of the replay. Ultra kind of coming in with the killer. We're gonna have to see what Ultra can do, because Matto 5 has such a great performance that at the first killer match of the replay, and yeah, gonna have to get it's a pretty tough win condition. But if anyone can do it, it can definitely be Ultra. We're going to have to see as we get the first chase on a Pedro. That's gonna be an M1, no pallet right there. Obviously going to use the injury to get some distance right here. Medium vault right there. Silva wasn't able to get the M2 right there. Could have potentially committed, but not gonna get it. Nobody home for it.
Yeah, and it's also interesting seeing Ultra bringing a much different build to play for this win core here, with Agitation and Eruption as well. Not quite going to be able to land the snipe through the back of main. We saw Pedro pre-dropping that back pallet as well. Oh, you just got to give the killer some silence there to hit those shots, but unfortunately not quite going to be coming through. Ultra electing for a chase on, I believe this is Matto 5 on the Jeff. I thought that was Leon for a second, but a life straight to the shack from that TL, and should be a little bit of split pressure on the gens right now, but the snipe through the shack is going to be beautiful for Ultra.
Yeah, what a guess right there. And like you said, we're going to get a different set of perks for the, for Ultra. Gonna opt to, obviously, because of probably the change win con, that's probably why we're seeing a little bit of a change in the builds. We want to see potentially more slowdown. We want to potentially interrupt the gens a little bit more often than not. But in order to do that, you do got to get it down though. So we're gonna have to see if Ultra is gonna be able to find it. We saw the light already. That's gonna be a fast vault on the pallet. We're gonna have to see if you can guess accordingly. And even with the range right there, you're not gonna be able to get it. And yeah, this is gonna have to be probably. Yeah, I'm not too sure what the players right here from Ultra are going to potentially maybe hide his positioning a little bit in order to force Matto 5 into a bad spot. But it doesn't look like it's going to be that as we get the first generator done. And Matto 5 is still up.
Yeah, no, still going strong around the main building. Ultra not quite being able to land those snipes, unfortunately. Gonna break that door to make main building a little bit easier to chase that, and the second gen being completed means that Ultra can't let any more gens get done in order to meet the win con of 4K3. We don't know where Ultra is right now. We hear the heartbeat close by. Matt is still going to be in chase at the main building with Ultra hot on his heels, taking the chase over towards his double windows, but just not enough to land that snipe. And the range is honestly so scary, but not quite coming through.
Yeah, absolutely. The range not coming through. You saw how close that was to actually hitting Matto 5 and prolonging the chase by maybe 5 seconds right there with the quick and quiet, as you saw right there. That perk honestly has so much value, especially with against the Executioner, just because you're having to guess, right? You're having to guess where the survivor is going to go if you can't hear them vault. And that can make it really scary for sure as we get it at the pain risk stack right here. And we saw the running right there, and you saw the positioning towards the hill. That makes me think potentially Pedro has balanced landing, so probably potentially getting some distance, on the other side of the shack. But Ultra's gonna drop chase, going to opt to go for something right here, going to end up getting a gen kick. Yeah, it's like 1 a.m. for you, Spoker. Hopefully that didn't hurt your eyes too much. We're gonna have to sue the survivors, right?
Yeah, that's it. And Pally in the shack here, dodging out these M2s from Ultra. Very scary stuff, but should be able to make it on the outside and have some distance to work with. And Ultra trying to go for some nasty flicks. I still don't understand how people have gotten so good at stuff like this. But once again, Pally over at the shack, trying to keep the chase away from the gens as long as possible, and it's working beautifully, even getting Torment onto Pally, but I don't think it's even gonna matter. Ultra is in so much trouble if this down isn't quick enough to get a pain res hook, and actually no, not even Eruption, because we didn't re-kick that gen, so no Eruption to be able to come into play just yet, but Agitation should help us get to a pain res hook. Oh no.
Oh, gonna miss right there. The M2 going to opt to go for yet another, going to have to go another go around the shack, and wow, Ultra's not being able to get this down, and like you said, no gen kick right there, so he's not getting any value off of Eruption if he gets this down right here. And wow, 1, 2, 3, 4 gens popped already. You know, they're looking to just make sure that they get all out, and man, it's been crazy to see for sure. More gens done this round than the last one, so this is going to be yeah, this is crazy right now. The fact that, you know, lots of chase value right here. Paliloop is doing a really good job of just making sure they haven't gone down as often, and it doesn't matter. Whoa, the blind coming in! The blind coming in and not even making, you know, having to guess on the flick right there, not able to get it as we finally get the down. But like we said, no re-kick of the gen, so no eruption value. We saw no kicks on any of the gens, so we get no eruption value potentially. Just gonna get the cage right there and trying to shift over to the top side of the map to kind of, you know, maybe find another survivor and maybe get some pressure going. But, you know, Pedro coming in on the chase right now.
Yeah, no, with the win cons confirmed for Master, and taking the first set point on the other team's pick of Killer is always going to be really, really, well, motivational, really good for the morale. And Pedro, after taking that first tag and taking the chase over towards the shack, sorry, we're looking and sitting really pretty right now as Pally gets uncaged and is going to have adrenaline as well to get straight back up to healthy. And I wouldn't be surprised if Ultra just has to commit to this chase and the other survivors just all take the outs. Not going to be able to get into the locker in time, trying to slow vault into it. Pedro is going to take that down, and we have doors all the way on the other side of the map. Very, very split up and undefendable for Ultra, as I believe all of our survivors should be taking some escapes here.
Yeah, they should be all. Yeah, except for Pedro, they should be all on that side. I mean, obviously, you're just gonna take the 3 out right here. And wow, what a turn of events. We had a tie going, and then we had to replay the set, and then Matto5 gave us a performance that we're probably not going to forget for quite a bit right there. Unfortunately, we know Ultra, it was a very difficult win condition for sure, as we're going to, you know, end up probably going to give game 1 to Master with a current score of 45-19 on Cynic's side. And I mean, the first game of the day, going to a replay and having to run it back, so that was one for the books for sure. We're going to be taking a quick break at this point, and we're going to come back into, I believe it's the Spirit for the second set. So don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. We'll see you guys in a bit. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We hope you enjoyed your short break, as we got a change of scenery and a change of killer. It's going to be Matto5 on the Spirit right here on the Azeroth Realm. This is going to be nice to see for sure, or Auto Haven, I believe. So it's going to be nice to see what the Spirit is going to be able to do. We've talked about it before. One of the big things right there is going to be how fast you can get this down and how much pressure you can put onto the survivors as we get that pre-drop in order to force, you know, the M2 potentially right here. No, we're going to get some line of sight and then maybe go for the M2 right here. So yeah, gonna opt to go see how fast we're going to get this down on Lusty. Battle5, you know, able to, you know, locate and then maybe take a guess right here with a phase. And yeah, it's going to be very easy to see. Great stuff right there. Wow. Waiting for the pallet drop. Didn't want to come out of the phase and try to go for a lunge and maybe get pallet stun. So that's why we saw the wait right there. Maybe, you know, going forward a little bit with the noise with the sound notification, maybe forcing the pallet drop and then able to make a decision right there. Great opening right now for Matto5.
Yeah, just showcasing some beautiful discipline with the Spirit's power here, getting that first hook onto Lusty, and I don't think we saw any pronks of the Infectious Fright, so our survivors aren't going to be aware of it as of just yet, and could come in clutch for Mad later on in the trial, as Wrecker's Yard is quite a small map when you really think about it. And now Ada here, Angels waiting for the sprint burst at the last second, but still going to be getting tagged nice and quickly. I don't think we'd be able to even get the one. Oh, we do get the 1-for-1 just in time.
Yeah, and there it is, like you said, mentioning the Infectious Fright. Now you're definitely going to call it out, so we are going to potentially see, oh, get stunned. Shoutouts to my boy Q. We're going to get this chase right here. Maybe get even this tunnel out right here. Oh, but what a great... Yeah, the decision-making right there from Matt to kind of just change course. Still not enough. We're going to get yet another pallet, but we're going to get a go-around potentially. Faking the phase. Great stuff.
Wow, and even slugging for more as we hear someone vaulting the window back. Not going to be able to make it to the pallet in time, as Mad's going to get this second hook onto Lusty. No decisive strike going to be happening, and pickup happened to Angels across the map. The first 2 gens have gotten done, and Mad is just going absolutely crazy right now, even though we had our first 2 gens getting done. Oh, is this the chase here? Doing a really good job at baiting out the scratch marks. It's Ultra who's going to get hit through the pallet, but it doesn't even matter. Mad is going to head back to the hook and potentially force the elimination, as Lusty is in a really tough spot right now.
Yeah, and again, no matter what, the pressure the killer provides, right, in terms of tempo, game pace, the survivors are doing a relatively good job of still pumping out 2 gens, but it could be too little too late as we get the reset on Ultra, and, you know, with the timing on Lusty's hook, it might be just a defensive play right here from Mad05 to secure this elimination, like you said. And yeah, this is this has been one for the books already. I mean, the thing with Spirit is that this is such a quick pace killer to go up against. Your decision making has to be on point, your communication has to be on point, your positioning has to be on point, and if not, you know, Spirit can tend to snowball just kind of like this. Already securing this kill onto Lusty as we phase towards maybe a corner gen where we might see some pressure. Maybe get a mid phase, that way you make some progress towards a gen, and then you have time to get the phase right here, just like that. And here we get the phase potentially. Yes, we are. We're gonna have to wait maybe for a noise notification, but no, great stuff right there. The ambiguity from Wispy right there to kind of reposition from the pallet in order to create some distance. We are gonna see a small pallet right here, not gonna be the best one right here. Yeah, you see them going for it immediately. The problem with this pallet, great down right there. The problem with this pallet is that it's not a very good one, it's a very small one. So if you do make it out here, especially during the Spirit phase, you kind of have to commit to dropping a pallet pretty quickly. But we saw Mad05 kind of not even care, and yeah, gonna get a hook closer to the gen just to get around it very soon, as we see Pop right there. Maybe gonna get, you know, some regression going on.
Yeah, now, it always is costly going for the tunnel out, and if it does take too long, there are some big problems, and our problem right now is that Mad has some pretty difficult gens to try and defend as they're split up well across the map, and Angels is going to be coming in and trying to get the save onto Wispy, but Ultra does pop one of those gens off in the distance, and really not yet able to get the true value that we really can from Pop Goes the Weasel, as Ultra and Angels are sort of forced at the back left-hand side of the map, while Wispy is probably going to be going into second stage here.
Yeah, it looks like you'll be going on to second stage, and like you know, and it's going to be one of those trades where, you know, you could potentially maybe apply some more pressure on a gen, potentially get all 5 gens done, you know, to kind of continue to push the win condition, you know, in favor of your team. But we are going to see the reset right there, and, you know, Sloppy Butcher on Spirit gonna make the heals a little bit slower, going to take a little bit more time off of the gens in order to actually get these resets. As we see Wispy go into second phase, you saw at the very far edge of the map, in terms of Mad05's line of sight, we do see another survivor over there. So you gotta think someone is right here ready for the hook, and you saw Ada's heals. I swear, you saw her fabulous heals right there. Going to get the unhook, having to go for the window vault as we see the renewal. Gonna have to go for right here. Oh my god, yeah. Gets the hit on Wispy. Going to just opt to go for the immediate down. Get another elimination for Mad05, potentially.
Oh my goodness, really, really well played by Mad to anticipate which side of the pallet Wispy was going to be running to, but it's all in vain. Slaps him with the D in honor of your boy Q, and immediately drops the pallet as well during the stun animation. And this should be a nice quick... Oh, never mind! It was going to be a dead hard play, as even if the renewal went off, we would have had dead hard available, but DS is going to allow us to get it anyway. But wow, that is so unfortunate for Wispy, but a lot of brains behind that, and who knows, maybe Ultra and Angels can get this last gen done for it.
Yeah, absolutely. It could have been potentially for a gen done. Absolutely right there. No adrenaline plays from either side. We're going to get a loop around this loop right here. This is a much better loop than the pallet that we saw 2 survivors go for, you know, just to Mad05's left side right here. But you are going to get the phase right here. And yeah, quick down right there. Infectious going to opt to go for the slug. Obviously, you have those survivors right there having to work on the gens. And one of the benefits of having 2 survivors on a gen in this situation for Mad05 is that no one's on the exit gate. So now you can definitely secure this 4K right here, you know, even though we did get all of the generators done. So, you know, it's going to be, you know, it's going to be one for the books. It has been a really exciting match so far. Ultra's going to have to go for the loops of his life in order to potentially turn this around, but it looks all but inevitable right now that Mad05 is going to get this down.
Yeah, and even if Ultra were to get this pick up onto Angels, which is exactly what's going to happen here, we need to see a locker grab or something, but Ultra is going to be going down here, and that infectious fright value is going to be coming out. Angels playing this pallet so patiently. There comes the drop. The down is basically inevitable at this point, as with this phase, it'll just zone our poor Angels with nowhere to really go. Should be stuck in the husk right now, and there we go. Both of the slugs secured, which what should be a 4K. Wait, hang on a minute. I think we still have Deliverance available on Ada, if I'm not mistaken, as both of our survivors are fresh. We're yet to see Deliverance, so whether it be Ultra or Angels, we need to be careful about that.
Yeah, definitely need to be careful. Maybe prolong the chase enough to get something going. I will say though that again we talked about it earlier. None of the gates were worked on at all, just because they were both on that last gen. So the positioning kind of worked out in Matter 5's favor. Even if we do see the Deliverance play, like I wonder if it just prolongs the inevitable as opposed to actually makes an impact in this game, right? But we're gonna get the pickup right there on Angels, and yeah, I mean this has been a showcase so far. We saw an Unbreakable earlier, I believe, from Angels as well, in order to pick themselves up right here. But yeah, we're gonna wait out the hooks right here, right? Like, are we gonna get potentially a Deliverance play here?
I think if we are going to be seeing a Deliverance play, it would have to happen just as Ultra is going into second stage if we want to really make anything from this. I don't think we have any resources in our immediate vicinity to utilize, as this filler pallet right next to the hook has been dropped, and the pallet in this new and improved Lego tile has also been dropped and broken, I believe. So it's just a bit of a waiting game here, as Mad needs to be ready on the hatch, and once that deli comes out, it's just a matter of finding out where Angels is going to go from there. And there's the second stage onto Ultra. Oh, you're going to see it.
I wonder what we'll see for sure. I mean, you see Matter 5 waiting patiently right there. Like you said, not too many great pallets around. We do have a 4-lane right here looping to the shack, but definitely not something that you want to see for sure. Yeah, it looks like, the timing from Angels, it looks like they have it kind of on lock right here, going to opt to go. Oh no! Yeah, I mean, maybe it didn't really matter at the end of the day right there though. But I believe the Deliverance was up, right? Like, Angels could have been able to unhook themselves, right?
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. We did see Deliverance active. We also had Sprint Bus as well to potentially make it over to the shack and to the hatch position, and just sort of hope that Mad wasn't waiting on the hatch spot. But at the end of the day, I think it just would have been curtains regardless, and that's going to be a 4K at 0 gens remaining, 28 points to Master and 10 to Cynic. So a very clear win con for the survivors of Master if they want to get the second set win and a 2-0 victory. So we'll find out after a short break. Alrighty, welcome back everyone to the Wrecker's Yard with what could be the deciding game. Master already up a set point, and with a 4K0 in the back pocket in the last trial, Ultra has a very cut in stone win con of needing to get a 4K1 to bring us into the tiebreaker, or a 4K0 for the tie con. Any survivors out the door, out the hatch, would be Problems team, and a 2-0 victory for Master. And Ultra is just going to be checking around this corrupt area, checking the spawns to see if we can spot out our first survivor for our first chase.
Yeah, absolutely. Something to note right here. We are going to get a sub right here with Juan Marco coming in for Master, as we already get the hit right here. Are we going to get the down pretty quickly? Crows right there going into the corner right there. Great awareness, great line of sight for Ultra to kind of, understand, okay, this is where they're going. You see the scratch marks come out. You see the crows leaving, so you understand the positioning of the survivors right here. Quick first down right now. Again, Spirit, the name of the game. Get that down immediately and just start the pressure up. However, you are across pretty much all of the gens, right? Any sort of 3-gen, you're kind of having to traverse across the map in order to start pressuring it. But, Ultra, very, very adamant on just, making sure you find the survivor first and then maybe start the phase, right? We're probably going to get the pop right here on the gen. Yes, we are. So now potentially get a phase right here. Yeah, absolutely. Going to reposition and closer to the hook, maybe to pressure the survivors, making sure that they have to earn this unhook, right?
Yeah, and as we see the rescue coming through, we saw someone coming from the top side, and we have already spotted El Marco not going to be able to really make it to a whole lot of spaces. We do have the pallet to drop here. We've got the eruption previously applied on the generator, and Pedro, our unhooker, is going to be taking a tag for El Marco before running up to the shack, and Kate running up towards the hill. Maybe a suspected balance landing play, and there it is. Balance going to be saving that tag and taking us over towards a filler pallet near the shack. We also hear Pedro close by as well, but probably our deliverance player, as well as having Unbreakable in the back pocket, I would have to assume, to try and preserve this chase for as long as possible and prevent a tunnel out from happening too quickly. But the first gen has gotten completed, and we finally have gotten that down on El Marco, as well as the eruption proc on that gen that was worked on previously.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of regression accumulated onto that gen. You know, we got the pop value and we got the eruption value, and we're going to see a bit of an aura reading right there. We're going to see the survivor still on that gen. You know, as soon as the gen pop was like, you know what, I'm going to keep working on this gen as we get a second hook right here on Marco and on more pressure on this gen. You can tell that this is the one that they're kind of working on a little bit more adamantly, so you can get this hit. You could go back and get the pop right now to get some regression right here, but we see Matto 5 going for the unhook actually, and using for the people in order to preserve Marco's life just a little bit longer as Ultra gets the hit, the break, and you know, positioning towards shack side to start getting maybe find some line of sight, maybe start finding Marco potentially here.
Yeah, no, we definitely want to find Marco here. And I think we're actually going to be finding Matto 5 here that on the ace. The eruption goes off, and we're going to get some aura reading on our survivor working this gen as well. This is going to be Pele trying to commit to this gen at the cost of potentially their life. The second gen getting completed. We're going to be getting some slugs here and potentially multiple. Pop goes the weasels going off. And here we go. Never mind. Pele's going to be doing a beautiful double back at just the right time. We're probably going to be even seeing the pick on Mad off in the distance, and Pele is going to have to be our new survivor to go for here as Mad's back up. El Marco's safe for a bit longer, and this chase has bought so much time for the team. Really well played to Pele.
Yeah, well played. I mean, just the, you know, the firecracker, the winter party starter, whatever that Pele used, was very good in terms of kind of repositioning the sound from the popping, you know, the crackling ends up messing up with your ears, right? You're not hearing as well. You can't hear the survivors kind of grunting and moaning on the way to a double back, and that kind of bought just enough time for them to get the pick on Matto 5. So, I mean, just great awareness, great use of the item, great just game sense overall, so.
No, I'm not too sure who we saw resetting Mad over here. I think it's actually Pedro. We see some beamer clicks as well. Come and chase me. I'm going into the corner, and there's nothing you can do about it. Double eruption, though, on both of these generators. 10% on both of them. Second gen has been completed across the map, though, but as Ultra is acquiring more and more of these hooks, we're less focused on trying to find El Marco, as we should be able to have another survivor being ready to be strategically targeted out of the trial, as Pedro, I believe, is going to be our deliverance player, and we should be seeing that coming out soon as we actually find El Marco here at the hill. Regardless of what we said earlier, it would still be nice to get an elimination this early on, and I think Ultra is going to gun for it.
Yeah, it would be nice to get an elimination rather quickly right here. Like you said, the balance landing going to buy enough time for Marco to position to maybe an LT wall. Going to go for this pallet right here. Very good pallet going towards the longer side, forcing the break. Great awareness from Marco in order to chain these loops together. Now, though, this is where you have to guess against the Spirit. Ultra, if he guesses right, could get the elimination right here, and he's going to get it. Great stuff right there, as unfortunately Marco subbing in, going to go back to the lobby, you know, a little bit quicker than maybe they wanted to intentionally. But yeah, like you said, Pedro with the deliverance play right there. And, you know, even though we are seeing these survivors, you know, pressuring enough, the gens enough, we are seeing a lot of kicking, 10% with the eruption, 15% or whatever it is with Pop Goes the Weasel as well. You know, getting a lot of value, potentially slowing the game down, but that's going to be the 3-gen broken right there from the survivor side. So, you know, great job on Master Survivors for getting that 3-gen broken. Great stuff.
Yeah, no, Ultra's going to have to get the 4K before this final gen can get done, and we've had to split up these gens, so it might be a bit difficult. Ultra going for a lunge of that window there, but Pele's going to be able to make it away, and potentially even just make it away from the gens all together, as we've got these TLs that we can utilize here. The slow ball back, we heard it, and there is the down onto Pally as well. It's the eruption proc, sorry, onto, I believe that's Pedro. Yeah, we see Pedro walking away. We know exactly where you are, so you're going to have a real tough time with your aura being shown for, I believe it's 10 seconds as well, if I'm not mistaken. But that's going to be a down onto Pedro as well. And knowing that this was our Delhi player, we are probably going to have to just get the hook onto Pedro. But nice and cozy inside of our gens.
Yeah, nice and cozy inside the gens, able to potentially get a Pop Goes Weasel stacks on maybe one of the other gens if needed. Ready to kind of get going right here. Yeah, we're going to get it. And like you said, hooking inside of the gen spread, right, kind of provides a little bit of pressure, because being able to defend two, three things at once can be very crucial in terms of maybe starting to change the tides towards your favor in terms of pressure. And we're going to find a chase right here. Potentially going to check on this gen right here just to see where everybody's at. Oh, that's Pally Loop already injured, so that's going to be a kick on the gen. If you can get this down, it's going to be huge eruption value.
Oh no, yeah, we've got the double kick, and Pally getting caught on the husk a bit. It's going to go down here, and more aggression coming out for Ultra, for the people as well. Coming out from Mad onto Pedro to stop another elimination from happening. The survivors really do need to play it slower down, a bit slower, sorry, in this 3v1 scenario, as, you know, we need to get not only the last gen done, but at least a stage out the door or out the hatch in order for the win to be met for Master. But Ultra is looking like it's in a position to get this 4K at 1, and Sprint Burst coming out from Pedro is going to be able to take the chase away from both the gens and the hook. With this drop of the pallet here as well, needs to mind game the phase a bit here. And do we have ears on Pedro?
I mean, honestly, that for the people right there from Matt on to Pedro was so clutch right there, because if that's, you know, if that's Pedro injured, you know, you hear exactly where he's going all the time, right? But because of the full health states, right, no grunts of pain, right, you could see maybe the grass movie to try to get a mind game read right here with the phase walk, but not gonna get it right here. And Battle 5 going down in the corner, just enough for Pedro to go get the unhook. So great stuff so far.
And not just the unhook, but the full reset onto Pally as well. I have to assume that that must be a will make it or something like that, because healing that quickly through Sloppy is definitely very, very oppressive. And on your Delhi player, you would want to have perks oriented around unhooking. So Pally and Pedro both healthy for this point of the trial is honestly really, really good for them, as Ultra is going to be able to get Pop Goes the Weasel from this hook onto Mad. And we saw how close this gen was near where Mad was slugged, almost close enough to have gotten the pickup. But man, this is really going down to the wire.
Yeah, going down to the wire. I mean, again, this is sort of the slower pace we're talking about. As we get the reset, now they kind of disperse, maybe stealth out the kill a little bit more, because you know Ultra is immediately going to phase to go check on the gens and just use the audio cues to make the correct decisions here and there. But if you slow the game down, you stealth out the kill a little bit. You make Ultra maybe second guess himself on certain, you know, on where he's patrolling the gens at, and potentially could get something going. And yeah, the rotation from these players, we see some scratch marks right there, so you know where Ultra's gonna go. But just the fact that these rotations are happening so quickly, right? Like, we got the unhook and the full reset, and we got a full rotation across the dead zones of the map where there are no gens to get the unhook right there. And yeah, this is really good, because this is Power Loop being chased, which means potentially the faster heal onto Mad 05 as well from Pedro. So great awareness from the survivors, great coordination.
Yeah, no, we either might be seeing the reset onto Mad, or Ultra just going back and potentially either trying to interrupt the reset, or if they are trying to double out the gen, which it kind of looks like is what they're doing. These gens have been completed almost twice over, it feels like. Eruption getting reapplied, and it's really going to show how good of a pick Eruption was going into this, as Ultra has been able to utilize it so well.
Yeah, great stuff right there with the phase walk. Gonna have to go. Oh, great stuff right there. Prolonging the chase, maybe just like a second or two right here. Oh, that's unfortunate right there. You saw the potential drop right there. I mean, I like the awareness right there from Battle 5 to kind of go through the pallet, maybe make Ultra think that, you know, he was going to drop it, extend the chase for just a second or two longer, but, you know, maybe it might be all for nothing, because we get that eruption value with that aura reading. You know, Pally is really wanting to go for the gens right here. So I'm curious to see if we're gonna potentially maybe get better callouts on the eruptions, right? To to not end up maybe calling out the downs here and there. But with Spirit and the unpredictability, it can be really hard to coordinate those for sure. So gonna get some grunts of pain right here. Gonna be able to find Pally. Gonna get the down right there. Excellent stuff from Ultra.
And I think with this hook as well, we should be getting the elimination onto Pally, as we've gotten our fresh hook onto Mad. We've got Pedro on death hook. Only 3 more stages needed to be acquired to confirm the tiebreaker set. Ultra clawing this one back from the ashes. And are we going to be seeing this generator? No, not even close to being completed. We have lost pretty much all of our gen pressure. We're now being forced into a 2v1 scenario where I think if Mad was able to get out from the hatch, it could be the only hope for Master at this point.
Could be the only hope for Master at this point, but that's going to be Mad on the gen. Rather unfortunate right there. And man, the value from these gens or from these gen regression builds that Ultra's bringing to the table. Oh, wait a minute. Careful with your vaults right there. Gotta be careful with the ping and all that good stuff, right? So great stuff. Gonna end up getting the phase walk right here. Going to get potentially a vault right here. No, nobody home for the vault, but we are gonna see eruption on these gens. So no aura reading right from both ends. But you gotta think that Pedro might be on that other side, and yes, you're going to slug unless Pedro does a really smart reposition right here to potentially get a pickup. But this is not looking too good for Master, right?
Yeah, I think it looks like that Ultra is going to be able to get this 4K1 if we're going to be able to find Pedro, if he's still stealthing around for this gen, or if Pedro's gone into position to get the pickup onto Mad. We'll just have to wait and see. And as long as this trial has been dragged on for Master, holding on to any last hope that they can have to bring this back, but Ultra has just put on such a devastating performance to get into this position and to have this much pressure over the team. It's honestly so nice to see. And as we find our Bad 05 slug, we're gonna go for the pickup, get the hook, and potentially have to deal with some sort of endgame play.
Yeah, gonna have to go for some sort of endgame play. Going to have to do a lot of stealthing out potentially right here. Going to have to position yourself in the right place at the right time to maybe even get some sort of escape. But I mean, this is what a turnaround, right? Especially because we were potentially seeing a 2-0 victory for Master, but Ultra clawing all the way back, finding themselves in a really good position for Team NA, for Team Cynic to maybe go to the tiebreaker here, right? So this is going to be this next like minute and a half, 2 minutes is going to be everything for sure.
Yeah, and as we see Mad's elimination timers ticking away, it looks like Mad's actually hitting the skill checks and potentially giving Pedro a bit of time to either stealth in position for a door or for the hatch. But I think Ultra is easily going to be able to stop any sort of hatch escape from happening. And I haven't really been able to get a good eye on where our doors have spawned, but if we're going to be seeing doors, well, like we've seen Ultra getting in the last couple of games as well, they've been really tough for him, very split up across the map. And there's the elimination onto Mad. We're going to go make sure that the hatch escape doesn't happen. Oh man, I think if Pedro was already in position on the hatch spot, I think he would have had time to actually get the out. But the power of hindsight is a very powerful thing. And let's have a look at the doors. Oh, did we just see a crow fly up at this one?
Yeah, if a crow flew up, that's going to be rather unfortunate. And I think, yeah, we did that. I mean, great awareness. If we saw it, Ultra definitely saw that. And yeah, this might be it, huh?
Yeah, that's going to be Cynic taking the second set, putting us into the tiebreaker once we get this down and hook onto Pedro, who's going to be taking this last chase for the style points. It'll be a score of 38-36. Cynic winning it by only 2 points. That's how close this set was, and any sort of escape, I think, could have given Master either the tie or the win. Juicing up at the Z-wall, taking the chase all throughout the edge map, going for a map tour. But that is going to confirm it. We are going to be going into the tiebreaker set, and we are going to be seeing the Cenobite on the Dead Dog Saloon with Cynic on the killer side setting the win con. So I'm honestly really excited for this.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially because, you know, Cynic is setting the win condition right here, which is very nice because the last time we saw Cenobite from Cynic on Dead Dog, we were seeing the battle of the North American teams, right? We were seeing Master and we were seeing not Master, we were seeing Karma and Cynic go for it, and you know, Ultra killing second, but now we'll opt to go first as we're gonna go to the Dead Dog Saloon. I mean, yeah, what a response from Team Cynic, from Team NA. Ultra, you know, the gen regression build coming in clutch for him in order to secure the win to go to the tiebreaker, which we will get to right after this short break. Everybody, welcome back from the break. We hope you've gotten some time to get a drink, water, coffee, whatever you need, as we're going to get yet another change of scenery for this tiebreaker match. We're going to see Ultra killing first on Dead Dog with the Cenobite as we get the corrupt intervention. So going to end up zoning out some survivors potentially here. You can already see the chains, you know, the chain hunt already, you know, the meter slowly building up, slowly but surely. Going to get this right here. Great stuff. Going to force maybe an early power drop. Yeah, that's what's going to happen right here. Worst case scenario, you're kind of zoned into the center of the map, maybe going towards the water tower side, unless, yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen. So are you going to be able to make it to the pallet right here? Yeah, great stuff. I mean, you know, Sir doing a really good job on Ace now, going, you know, going back and forth and chaining these loops together.
Yeah, and I think this will be the inevitable tag, though, as we do have the impaling wire causing a little bit of damage there. Sir still having a really amazing first chase, being able to take it over towards the main building after using the shack pallet as well is typically what you would normally be seeing. Oh, and Ultra just whiffing the chain a little bit and not being able to follow it up. And we see Marco on the box right next to Ultra. I think he managed to interrupt it in time. This is going to be the chase onto Marco at the drop-down water tower with box in hand. This is going to be really, really scary for Master Survivors right now.
Yeah, definitely going to be really scary for Master Survivors to have the box in hand. I mean, you know, maybe a little bit of a misplay right here, but great stuff. Great awareness from Ultra. Maybe getting something going right here. I mean, you know, what a way to start it. You know, not, you know, yeah, gonna get the chain hunt right there. Going to force maybe a power drop right here, if at all. But no, it's gonna look like that's gonna be it. And yeah, there it is. Going to get, you know, some information right here. Gonna get a pain risk stack too, which will be nice for sure. And yeah, gonna get the chain hunt started right here. So.
Now, as we get this first look at the trial here, we also have 3 stacks of Save the Best for Last, or as how I like to call it, Stabiffle. We get our first stack of Pain Res, we got a bit of regression to start off the game, and Sir getting rid of the box so we don't have to worry about it later on in the trial. There's a weird game mechanic that well, not recently, but sort of heard about when downing someone with the box as Pinhead, right? If you stand on top of them during the box pickup animation and go for the pickup, the mechanic, that behavior added to the game where if you stand on the box for too long, it spawns at a different point of the map. It'll actually cancel out the chain hunt if you don't move off of the survivor that you downed. And I know we've seen it a few times happening in the past, but not a lot of people have actually caught up on it. So there's your fun tip of the day from Spoker.
Yeah, hey, you know, brought to you in part by Get the Sponsors Ready. You know what I'm saying? Definitely some value right there. But we're gonna get some chains right here, just pressuring the survivors, pressuring, potentially forcing a stage 2 right here, which looks like that's exactly what Ultra's gonna be doing. I mean, 5 gens already done, and someone potentially, or not even being done one single gen, and we're already gonna get a stage 2 right here. Someone dead on hook already. Great value right here, but you got to think potentially there's a gen in the distance somewhere pretty close to being completed, but you know, Ultra doing a really good job. I mean, setting the tone, right? Because this is so important in a tiebreaker set in which you have to claw your way back after after tying the first killer, losing the first killer, and then going down the second game, having to bring it all the way back and setting the tempo for this tiebreaker. Honestly, a great turnaround potentially could be for Team NA and Cynic.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. And honestly, I don't think we're going to be able to see the rescue onto El Marco as we see Pedro trying to go in for the save, and we see Sir popping a gen off in the distance, I believe, as we saw Drago working on the gen in the main building, and things are looking really, really tough for Marco. We'd have to see Drago and Sir going in for this double save, but I think instead we're going to be opting to get that main building done instead and having first elimination of the trial already secured. Sir managing that box, and
Yeah, he showed up. He's here. We're here now.
You always gotta let him speak when he teleports. That's my rule of thumb. Oh!
Gonna get the hit right here onto Ace right here. Going to get potential. No, a great dodge right there. Buying a little bit more time. We were just at 5 gens, by the way. We were just at 5 gens. And the fact that we are here, 2 gens left already, I mean, just great pressure from Master so far.
Yeah, no, and original pain onto Sir, obviously being revealed to the survivors, very commonly run on the pinhead, on the Cenobite. And are we going to be able to make it to this pallet? Actually, greeting the pallet here. Sir doing an insane job. Ultra recognizing it as well, but there is the down inevitably. At least we still have the pallet to utilize there. Drago is our obsession for the trial here, and Ultra has managed to build up a dangerous amount of stacks of save the best for last to the point where a single person coming in for a save is no longer possible. Even the double save is going to be very, very difficult unless you have the obsession coming in, as that's 5 stacks as the Biffle. That is some scary, scary stuff.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy, like you said, scary stuff for sure. I mean, having saved the best for last right there, really good job. I mean, like you said, being able to accumulate 5 stacks. Are we gonna see potentially a teleport right here? Oh my God, that was so good. That was so good. I mean, the chains have been, you know, the M2s have been pretty efficient, have been pretty accurate. We love to see it, you know, going from awkward angles for sure. Definitely not the easiest thing to control. Yeah, great stuff. I mean, what a showcase so far, right?
Yeah, it's absolutely insane seeing how beautifully Ultra is playing on the Cenobite here. And with the bamboozle pre-applied on that window at the main building, this is going to be Pedro getting caught out here in a really tough position, as well as the chain hunt being triggered. We know exactly where Drago is right now, and we can just slug him here, excuse me, and secure a 4K1 potentially.
Yeah, box on hand for sure. And because, you know, Drago's still alive, obsession in hand, you're able to, you know, just continue to accumulate the Biffle stacks. But now having only 1 survivor up, you know, it doesn't matter how many stacks you lose as long as you can secure the slug right here. So, a little bit of a mind game on the pallet right there. Nobody home for it though. Drago buying a little bit of time. Is he gonna get this speed boost and be able to make it all the way to get this unhook? You know, Ultra's waiting for it, right? Great awareness, right? Great awareness to just wait out, you know, maybe the positioning change right here, because even with, you know, the shorter distance, the cooldown is gonna make this trade happen right here.
Oh, and with the original pain coming out, still not dropping the pallet. So playing it just a bit too greedy with the 4 gens being done. Ultra just needs to go and collect all the slugs and confirm a 4K1 as our win con for Cynic. And in Ultra's words there, he must be going now. That is a performance of a lifetime here, and definitely one for the books.
Yeah, what a turnaround. I mean, again, you know, we mentioned it earlier. Karma did a really good job against Ultra Cenobite on this map right here, in this realm, and the fact that Ultra was able to kind of just turn it completely around and have a much better performance this time around kind of shows, you know, kind of the beauty in which, you know, every week is different, no matter what the record is, no matter how you might be doing a certain week. Every match is a new match, and you're able to kind of, you know, pull out these stellar performances, and Ultra did exactly just that. As like you said, looking for the slugs at this point, going for the corners, potentially trying to guess where they're at. But yeah, I mean, it was one for the books. It was honestly the chains, the M2s were so clutch. Finding survivors on the boxes at the right times, finding the interruptions at the correct times as well, and able to actually get those downs, to get those chain hunts and get that information. You know, just what a masterclass all around.
Yeah, no, it's always such a treat to see killers at such a proficient level of skill with their M2s, and especially a killer like the Cenobite with the 4K1 all confirmed. It's going to be 28 points to Cynic and 8 points to Master. They need to do all of the gens for Cynic to get the win here on the survivor side as things get switched over in the next trial, and Master going to need to somehow pull out a 4K2 in order to get the win and a 4K1 for the tie condition.
Yeah, obviously the conditions are set, and I mean, This is going to be a way to finish for sure. It would be crazy if we got another tiebreaker. If we got another tie, I would be losing it. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's gonna be crazy to say the very least. The fact that this set has been so close has been such a treat to watch as we get the hatch closed and we get the 4K secured. It's been awesome. I'm honestly so excited. I'm here for the rest of the day on DBDL, and I mean, what a way to start off the set, right?
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, this all comes down to this once again on the Dead Dog Saloon with El Marco on the Cenobite here on the Dead Dog Saloon. I'm loving the scenery here. I'm loving the tension that we have going into this trial here, looking around for this box, because obviously depending on where our survivors spawn, we do see Lusty over on this bottom right hand side of the map. I know a lot of regions like to com these maps very differently, but we know that our survivor is going to be able to go around and grab the box, as it would have spawned different to where El Marco would have been checking. And with the chatter of the teeth, we're going to be taking the chase onto Angels, and a beautifully landed chain is going to be taking the chase actually away onto Ultra, who's going to try and head over to the main building.
Yeah, great stuff right here. I mean, I love the mobility, right? The decision-making from Marco right there to get the injure onto Lusty and then teleporting to the box, forcing two people away from gens, and then finding himself in actually a right position to force Ultra off of Gen 2. So now at this point, you're probably getting a reset right now. You're probably slowing the pace of the game down just a little bit more right here, and could be the difference maker to kind of start off, maybe get this first unhook. Oh, great ball right there from Ultra.
And interestingly enough, going into this, El Marco's not even going to be bringing Bamboozle. Instead, going for the Pain Res, Sloppy, save the best for last, and Corrupt, and we get that down onto Ultra. We got 3 stacks right now, and going to be taking this hook over to, I would have to assume, would be a Pain Res hook. It'd be really nice if we had Pain Res on this hook in the street, and yes, we do. We hear a scream, and we see the gen that got Pain Res in the road. We have a lot of gens condensed to this area of the map, and oh my goodness, Lusty getting caught out in such an awkward position.
Miscommunication, unfortunate right there. We're gonna get a hook right here, potentially a hit, maybe even the tunnel on the second on Ultra, maybe forcing a stage 2 right here. Ooh. Great duck. Oh my god. The moves, the schmoves right there from Ultra, great stuff. Lusty on the ground though, someone's gonna have to get off the gen and go get the pickup potentially. So this is gonna be, I mean, yeah, this is a guess right here. Oh, she got the chains coming in clutch, forcing the down right there. Great stuff. Great stuff so far. 1 gen being done, so you know that might have been 1 person on the gen, 1 person potentially getting the pickup on Lusty right here.
Yeah, and there's the pickup as well as the second gen getting completed. I think we had our same survivor rotating over and completing that second gen as we have the third going for the pickup onto Lusty, and still a really, really good recovery from Cynic survivors here as El Marco needs to play for this tunnel out onto Ultra, and I think it's very doable here. We're going to be seeing the box getting solved by Wispy here. And yeah, we hear a little bit of progress on the main building. We also spot out our Claudette. Angels, this is our obsession though. I'm not too sure if we want to go for this chase, as we have 5 stacks of the Stabiffle that we want to utilize here to make sure that this rescue is literally impossible.
Yeah, absolutely. With the Stabiffle stacks, it definitely could make the rescues, or not could, it will make the rescues more impossible right here. Great pressure. I mean, just the fact that you're able to, you know, from a wide range, from a far distance, you're able to pressure survivors off of gens with the right positioning right there. You know, you're defending the hook to secure the elimination on Ultra, but you're also just like pestering survivors off gens, even for just a split second. And we talk about it time and time again. Every second in this game counts.
Yeah, and every time we send up a chain there onto a survivor on the gen, it's about a 7% chance that we get an unavoidable skill check miss. And to be honest, I quite like those odds, and 10% regression for just not being able to get off the gen at the right time is really unfortunate, but I don't think we saw it happening on that. Oh, wait, a double ball coming out from Angels, but Marco playing it perfectly, going to be able to figure out which side to go from, and losing some stacks as we're going for our obsession, but Stabiffle has done its job. We've gotten the elimination onto Ultra. There's still 3 gens remaining. We can play for our Pain Res, play for our Sloppy, make the resets much more devastating, and maybe even wrap this trial up with an obtainable win con.
Yeah, obtainable win con for sure, like you said, and yeah, I mean the mind games right there. You know, the very basic, you know, bread and butter, hiding your light or putting your light in a certain position to make the survivor make a guess right there. And on those 50-50s, you know, that's definitely something that you know, definitely favors the killer more if you do get that hit, right? Because that kind of secures your kill. You're gonna force Lusty potentially off this gen, maybe teleport to the box to continue to pester. That means only one person, and that is Lusty on gens right now. So the pressure is pressure's unreal right here. Are we gonna get?
Oh, that chain was so close, but again, so far, Wispy now going for the box. We see the box off happening as well, and the main building gen getting completed. Lusty being interrupted so many times, but it doesn't really matter. Marco has a decent split of gens, 2 gens very close by surrounding the hook, but the 3rd gen being quite a ways away. Marco is probably just going to force the second here and then maybe check up on that further gen, come back, make a play with the original pain and get elimination number 2, and I guess maybe play for the Tycon here.
Yeah, maybe play for the Tycon right here, like you said. I mean, yeah, I mean, this is yeah, securing there's the second stage right there. Great stuff. As we kind of just reposition around here to, you know, the 3 gen sort of a little bit far, but you know, if we get that last gen pop, that'll be everything for sure. So you already hear a little bit of progress on this gen. You're probably going to see a bit of a rescue right here potentially, and there it is. You know, as soon as you make a little bit of distance, and that gives you kind of the clear go around to get that rescue.
Yeah, but we got Wispy playing nice and close to our tunnel lab, but Wispy taking the tag here, expecting Marco to maybe just continue on for Angels. We are going to have that box to worry about in the distance as well. And I think Marco is a little bit worried about that last gen and needs to keep checking up on here and at least have everyone injured, forcing the survivors to be committing to gens while injured and then having a hook by an active gen. And we do see Lusty trying to work on this gen here with 2 injured survivors all the way on the other side of the map. Pre-vaulting the pallet, I think, on the incorrect side. Really unlucky for Lusty, but Marco whiffs the chain, accidentally putting it into the funny gaming room. And Marco's going to drop the chase here again and satisfied with the outcome of having 3 people injured.
A bit of a misplay right there from both ends, honestly. I mean, you saw the very interesting pallet drop right there, but you also, like you said, saw the gamer hook, right? Like it wasn't able to actually do anything. But Lusty already being forced off the gen yet again, but missing the hook, missing the chain again.
And yeah, I think with Angel solving that box, we're not going to have to worry too much about that passive slowdown of the chain hunt if it were to come into play. Lusty probably in the most ideal spot possible to be taking a chase at the main building, but Marco predicting his every movement so perfectly. Lusty's just going to be delaying as much time as possible and going into this room, and Marco's even going to drop the chase, not even going for the down onto Lusty in fear of the last gen getting done.
Yeah, absolutely. Gonna be a little bit afraid of the last gen getting done. Oh my god, the pop is right there. Wow. That you know, the efficiency, the positioning, the coordination from these survivors to get the last gen done. Get done, stupid. Shoutouts to Q. Great stuff right there. Plus 10 wood. Cue the Minecraft sounds, all that good stuff.
Yeah, and I'm sure Cynic are going to be so happy about getting that last gen done, having Angels and Wispy, I believe, committing to it to get it done, and they got it done all right. They got their second set point and brought it back with a clean 2-0 sweep after being down a set point. The gates are getting open. We're going to be seeing some outs, and I think it looks like Marco's going to be finishing up with a total of 8 stages with 2 survivors getting out here. And what an insane game to finish things off. This was truly one of the closest of matchups we've seen in a very long time, and some celebratory bags very much so deserved. And that first set going into tie off the rip is just a sure indicator of how close the games are going to be, and that's it right there.
Yeah, I mean, it was awesome. I mean, the final score will be 42 from Cynic's side to a 27 points from Master. What a way to end it. I mean, just close fought throughout, and yeah, that was awesome, Spoker.